Welcome to my live. So, hello, guys. This has been a long overdue, sorry for the noise, um, a conversation that has needed to be had. So, I'm traveling internationally, and I just stopped in to share the view and a light conversation. So I'm going to turn this around as I walk, and we are going to talk. So I'm not going to tell you where I am right away. I'm going to let you guess just based on the ambiance and the letters, the writing on the wall, literally, the crowd. Pay attention to the people, pay attention to the conversations, and let's get into it. And excuse any of the noise that you may hear in the background. I am live in life, and this is exactly what we're doing. So, I am at an airport, clearly, on a layover, and I decided while I am in the midst of my journey that I should step on here and deliver a conversation. And in the meantime, it gives you all also a visual of everything that's in my surroundings, because what good is a conversation if you can't see shit, right? All right. Shout out to the families. Okay, let's just keep it moving. So, when I decided I wanted to do a YouTube channel, I guess you're getting hints already. If you read, you can see. And if you can see, you can read. Or maybe not. I don't know. I wanted to step into this realm because I resonate with so many people that have a story to tell. And what's important to me is not for this to be anything that requires anyone to validate me, because I think people that are on social media often look for validation. My situation is I am wanting to share a part of my life and how my journey can help other people, because a part of life is being able to relate. And I'm so grateful that I have had so many experiences that have taught me so much about myself along with other people. So, that being said, let's get into a story. So, which one do I want to pick? I have so many. Oh my God. Uh, we'll go with the first one, which is self love, and everything else will branch out from there. And that's important to me because a lot of times people often don't know who they are, they don't know what they want, and they don't know if they love themselves enough to sacrifice and take a risk and go for what makes them happy. That being said, I have had to sacrifice wanting to go on my journey in life and travel and see the world at the compromise of letting people, places, and things that didn't resonate with my highest value of who I am go. Imagine hanging on to something that doesn't fucking resonate with you, and you're on a day to day basis, often trying to figure out why you're not happy. See, this is a prime example. See how that child is crying? You, that child's not happy. Okay? In real time, we are literally watching life unfold in its own way. So when you're not happy, you need to let some shit go. I remember having several relationships that were not, I would say, emotionally benefiting me. Because when you pour into people, they're supposed to give you an exchange back. Some people want financial exchange. I see a lot of people in relationships for money. Some people stay in relationships because they want the comfort of knowing that they have someone there. And often that may not look like anything at all because they could be there with you and leave and go home to somebody fucking else. Okay? Literally. That lesson has taught me that it's not important just to have a warm body by your side. If they don't uplift you in a way that makes you feel good beyond just the sheets. Hello. Can I talk to somebody? This is a side note. This is a very quiet, calm, and low-key airport. There's not a whole lot of fuss going on. Not a whole lot of um, shit going on. Everyone is pretty much moving about their way. It's not a lot of hustle and bustle. The calmness of it says a lot about the culture and the people. Let's move on. So I remember in my 20s, I was dating this guy. Let's get into the story. And a part of my relationship with him was me discovering who I was, and he was discovering who he was. And it was so alarming that we were really with each other, but at each other at the same damn time. You know, when you're in your 20s and you're trying to figure shit out, and you're in a relationship and you're trying to work out finances and dating and sex and career and happiness, all that shit, right? So we ended up getting into a situation where it was as if we were competing with each other. And when I felt that energy, I was like, why are we still doing this? He needed a prayer room. That's what he needed. He needed a prayer room. He needed to go somewhere and sit his ass down. I knew this when he cheated. And back in the day, I don't know if y'all remember Nextel cell phones and Sprint. You know, when we had the chirp back in the day, I remember chirping him quite often when he was out with his friends. This is my early 20s. I'm actually finished with my undergraduate degree. I'm going for my master's. And he took advantage of that time because my studies were very important to me. So much so that I wasn't willing to compromise letting him fuck up my education while he was out chasing ass. So while he was out cheating and shit, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to chase him. I'm going to just figure out what's going on. So I had his voicemail messages transferred to my phone. Yeah, I know that was kind of petty, but I was in my 20s, emotional, and just wanting to see if someone was really down for me the way they said they was. And come to find out, he really wasn't. So the voicemails that were being transferred to my phone was of him having conversations with people about places he was going to meet them at while I was either working on my college stuff and or trying to get myself upward moving in my career. So one night when he was supposed to be hanging out with his friends, he took one of my vehicles because I had two at the time. I had one that my dad had given me. Shout out to my father for being a well-rounded man that taught me how to provide for myself. He took one of my cars and it fucked one of these bitches I guess he was with at the time in my car. Left the condom that was used in the truck. It was actually a Durango, a red Durango. I only kept it for a year in my 20s and I got rid of it. You know, it was big red. That's what it was. We called it a big red. Because back in the day, The Durango body style was it they when they changed the body style, it was actually bigger than what it used to be. So he had fucked this chick in my car, and guess what he did, y'all? He blamed it on a friend of his that was dead. He said a friend of his had fucked some girl in the car. And I said, well, wait a minute now. I'd actually talked to your homeboy, which that was his cousin, and he said that that nigga was dead. So how you blaming you fucking some bitch in my car on somebody that's dead? So fast forward, a few more situations come about. We're in this relationship, living together, a couple years in, and voicemails coming in. I'm in my 20s still, so I'm not really sure on how to deal with confrontation yet. And I'm not sure on how to confront him about the information that I have. So I started getting more voice messages sent to my phone. And when he was supposed to be at the police academy, he was meeting one of his co-workers because he was supposed to park his car at the Millennium Mall. We lived in Orlando, right? He was parking his car, all right, and driving to his co-worker's house and fucking this guy. Ding dong. I can't make this up. I got the voicemail. You know why? Because the guy was saying in the voicemails that he left the door open. He said, I'm going to leave the door open. Okay? Who's saying that? You feel me? So I was like, well, damn. So fast forward after that, me having a lot of information because I'm getting all these voicemails. I'm like, damn, this dude low key in the man. I'm so beyond understanding how I should approach the situation. Dude got hemorrhoids. I'm not going to tell y'all that he had me inserting the medication in his ass, not knowing that I knew that he was getting voicemails from his coworker where he was supposed to be at the police academy parking his car, but he driving over to this man's house getting his ass handed in him. So we stopped being intimate because after I started getting information about what he was really doing, I wasn't attracted to him no more because I figured, why should I, as a lady, for one, be with a man that's closet gay, for two, put my own self at risk because I would never have sex with him without a condom, thankfully, and three, if you really are about that life, why are you wasting my time? So to this day, he does not know, but he knows now if he listens to this live that I became very well aware of his interests and his dispositions. And the final straw, again, me going through my 20s. I think my 20s was a time in my life where it allowed me to see that some people ain't shit. And I didn't know what to do with that information. But 20 years forward, I know exactly what I'm doing with that information. I'm sharing my truth and allowing a lot of women and men to know that you don't have to lie to kick it. You can actually be who you are and live in your truth and be honest with the people that you deal with. I think that's the biggest problem with people and why a lot of stories end up in the news. It's not because you're doing anything that makes you happy. It's because you're not being honest about those dealings. We have to be a little bit more forthcoming about what it is that we're interested in, because if you decide in life that you want something different, no one can stop you from pursuing that, right? You don't have to be stopped from pursuing what makes you happy. You shouldn't be stopped. But what you should stop doing is lying to those that you are with and just be honest. You know how many people out there in this world are down for whatever? A lot of people. A lot of people. And that's okay. So, I actually have prided myself on, and this is why a lot of my exes want me back, although we have moved on years and decades later. And we've come to a place where our realization isn't based on trying to hold each other in a place that doesn't make us happy, but realizing that we enjoyed our time and our moments together, and we don't have to keep each other bound to a situation if we desire other things, whether it be financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, all those things. So, the final straw, let me get back to the story, and I'm gonna wrap this up and I'm gonna get off here. The final straw with this young man was when we had broken up. I had moved out because I said, I can't do this no more. I just finished my master's degree, had gotten my first job in my career out of that relationship. And out of the goodness of my heart, my dad had given me a car was already paid off, that he had worked his hard-earned dollars to send me off to college with, and I decided to purchase another car. So I had that vehicle, which was already I had a title to. This motherfucker said he needed some money to put down on a new car. I gave him the title, and he post dated about 7 to 10 checks in the sum of about $8,700, maybe $8,800. That motherfucker never paid me back for the car that I gave him to put on his car, put on his down payment, and he wrote me bad checks that I took to the bank and tried to cash when we had post dated them because he needed to put a payment arrangement in place. So they were post dated so I can cash them every time he got paid every 2 weeks. He closed the bank account down. Never got the money back from him. The bank actually told me, honey, he owes us money. So if you can get your money for him, call us and let us know. Because he owes us money too. Listen, ain't nothing out there new under the sun, man. I am so grateful for every opportunity and blessing and story. Shout out to that young man. He still actually has been in my DMs and on my page 20 years later. I think he may have 3 kids now at this point. Shout out to you. I'm not going to say your name because you know who you are. My story is not about exposing people. My story is about educating people on what's really going on out here in these streets and putting a real life spin on the fact that you don't owe nobody shit out here. Okay? That's rule number 1. And rule number 2, do you. Boo, do you. Do you. If you have any questions about something and what you're looking for in life isn't going your way, why don't you go back to the drawing board and figure out what it is that you're contributing to that situation and why you ain't get what the fuck you want. Maybe it's the people that you've attached yourself to that's doing some side shit that's really not benefiting you either, and you're not interested. Okay? So for those who don't know, if you've made it through this live this far, I'm your sister that you can keep it real with and talk to. I'm your cousin when you want a little laugh and you can have a down home real conversation. I'm your best friend. You can go wild out and have a good time. I'm your daughter because you are educating me on how to be a better woman and elevate myself. I'm your wife. I'm your girlfriend. I'm your mistress. The one you respect. But you can't really be with her because the wife you with, you got 20 years in and you can't leave her, but you still fuck with her the long way. Y'all be good out there. And I appreciate y'all just joining me on this journey in life and in truth and in honesty. We're going to keep it real all the way. And look for me on the stage because this is the backdrop to my performances. So for those of you who don't know, I do stand-up comedy. And the point of this channel is to give you more information and backstories to some of the material that I will be presenting to you on the stage. So if you don't know, you now know. Igga, igga. Thank y'all. I love y'all to life. Let's keep it real and let's keep giving more truth and honesty out here. Kay's confessions and Kay exposes the truth. All right. Until next time, I'll be back real soon on this journey in life. I love y'all. Bye.